A CEO begins an earnings call and hears the same demand: grow faster in the next quarter. While the core business is healthy, the stock price hinges on new growth that remains invisible. Markets price in expected growth, so meeting forecasts can still feel like a failure. When managers pursue scale through large acquisitions or obvious strategies, they often discover high integration costs and slow learning. This is crucial because the wrong growth moves can destroy value, even as revenue and headlines rise. Once growth stalls, restarting it is rare, so early choices about where to compete become decisive. Imagine a planning team that continually refines premium features for top customers, as that is what the budget process rewards. Meanwhile, a simpler offer for those who cannot use the premium product is dismissed as too small to matter. Next, we explore disruption versus sustaining fights, the jobs customers hire for, profit migration, and building teams capable of growth. This video is inspired by The Innovator's Solution by Clayton Christensen and Michael Raynor, and subscribe for tools to spot disruption early. Growth pressure is relentless because investors discount future performance, so leaders must exceed expectations, not just meet them. This drives firms to seek new platforms, even when the core is profitable and well managed. Big growth bets can backfire, as integration and learning delays consume cash long before results appear. When growth stalls, valuations can collapse, and the pressure to regenerate it often intensifies. AT&T pursued convergence, acquired NCR, bought wireless assets, then purchased cable systems, only to sell them at huge losses. This pattern illustrates how chasing obvious growth can destroy value, even as leaders feel compelled to continue. Instead, treat growth as a discipline with repeatable rules, not a black box of luck. Predictability improves when managers understand why good companies fail and where entrants can win through disruption. Begin by listing which growth assumptions depend on rapid scale and which could start small without harming margins. Then select experiments that test demand and profit quickly, so the company can learn before committing billions. A sustaining innovation enhances an existing product, motivating incumbents to compete fiercely. A disruptive strategy targets overlooked customers or context, establishing a foothold with a new business model. If an entrant challenges the best customers with a superior product, established firms are motivated to respond and win. Disruption must be relative to all key incumbents. Being sustaining to one player means you are picking a losing fight. Direct computer sales over the internet improved an existing direct seller, but disrupted a dependent competitor. That contrast illustrates why the same technology can extend a firm's model while blocking startups. Every market is part of a value network that sets costs, processes, and the attractiveness of different customer segments. When entrants create a lower-cost model, they can move up the market and continue to compete at the margin. Map which customers are overserved, which are price-sensitive, and which are non-consumers who lack money or skill. Then develop a business model that earns profit at low prices and leaves room for future improvements. To start a predictable marketing strategy, ask what job a customer is trying to accomplish in a specific situation. A job is the progress someone desires, and products are hired when they conveniently and reliably fulfill that progress. Segmentation based on demographics and product tiers often fails because it confuses who buys with why they buy. When the job is clear, choosing features, channels, and positioning becomes easier, and disruption opportunities appear. A fast food chain studied milkshake buyers and discovered that many were commuters, hiring a thick drink to make a long drive easier. Once that job was named, the chain could adjust consistency and packaging to compete against bananas and bagels. Jobs also reveal non-consumption, where people have a job but cannot complete it due to solutions being too costly or complex. A new market disruption begins when a simpler offer allows people to do the job for themselves and then improves upmarket. Write the job in one sentence, including the situation and desired progress, then list the barriers that block people today. If jobs and non-consumption thinking help you plan growth, you can subscribe for weekly templates that map customers, channels, and profit. When performance becomes more than good enough, commoditization occurs as modular standards spread and differences vanish. Simultaneously, decommoditization appears elsewhere, as some layer fails to meet expectations and profits migrate. In a world where performance is more than good enough, either disruption will take your customers, or commoditization will erase your margins. The defensive strategy is to shift to the part of the value chain where performance still falls short of customer needs. Disk drive makers once earned huge margins on early gigabyte drives, but later struggled as better drives became commodities. This example illustrates why technical brilliance does not protect profits when modular components and common standards spread. When a subsystem is not good enough, interdependent design and proprietary integration can create differentiation and pricing power. When reliability and function overshoot, modularity allows specialists to plug together, and profit shifts to what customers still struggle with. Track which performance dimensions customers complain about today, and treat that gap as the place to integrate and invest. Where customers say products are already too good, push modularity, cut costs, and look for the next layer to own. New growth falters when a team lacks the right capabilities, which in turn stem from available resources, processes, and values. While resources are tangible, processes and values determine which projects receive attention and how work is actually carried out. Disruptive ideas often perish within mature organizations due to their cost structures and priorities, which steer them toward familiar customers. Organizations cannot disrupt themselves, so disruptive ventures often require autonomy to maintain a different model. Woolworth established a discount division with lower margins and faster turns, then reintegrated it and ultimately destroyed its model. Within a year, the discount unit mirrored the mainstream profit model and had to be closed. Strategy becomes tangible through resource allocation, as what gets funded shapes the actual actions a company takes. Funding also influences behaviour, and early capital works best when it is patient for growth, but impatient for profit. Assign disruptive work to an autonomous unit with a cost structure that can earn profit at low prices. Set funding expectations that force early profitability tests, and review which ideas the resource filter consistently rejects. Sustained growth is not about finding larger deals. It's a strategy for selecting battles that incumbents typically avoid. The aim is to build new value networks that begin small, learn quickly, and generate profit with a scalable model. Growth traps occur when firms pursue sustaining fights, overextend their customer base, and allow modularity to turn differentiated products into commodities. Breakthroughs come from segmenting jobs, competing against non-consumption, and aligning architecture, organization, and funding to specific circumstances. When these elements align, small experiments become reliable learning, and each step builds a repeatable growth capability. The reward is fewer costly acquisitions, fewer stalled projects, and more ventures that can survive long enough to scale. Start by identifying one product area where customers are overserved, then design a low-end or new market foothold. Next, define the job, identify non-consumers, and select an autonomous team and budget that can thrive on early profits. When decisions feel confusing, return to the circumstances, as cause and effect patterns reveal where growth will come from. For a more detailed breakdown of disruption, jobs, and profit migration, you can subscribe for new case-based guides each week.